everyone, this is Paul Gale from paulgalenetwork.com, and thank you for joining me today for video game news. It is December 14th, 2020, and these are the top stories of the day. To kick things off, we got a release from Cyberpunk 2077's developer, CD Projekt Red, today, issuing a lot of problems that have been going on, particularly with the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One vanilla versions, if you will, of the game. This is the following statement. Dear gamers, first of all, we would like to start by apologizing to you for not showing the game on base last-gen consoles before it premiered and, in consequence, not allowing you to make a more informed decision about your purchase. We should have paid more attention to making it play better on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Second, we will fix bugs and crashes and improve the overall experience. The first round of updates has just been released and the next one is coming within the next 7 days. Expect more as we will update frequently whenever new improvements are ready. After the holidays, we'll continue working. We'll release 2 large patches, starting with patch 1 in January. This will be followed by patch 2 in February. Together, these should fix the most prominent problems gamers are facing on last-gen consoles. We will be informing you about the contents of each patch ahead of their release. They won't make the game on last gen look like it's running on a high-spec PC or next-gen console, but it will be closer to that experience than it is now. Finally, we would always like everyone who buys our games to be satisfied with their purchase. We would appreciate it if you would give us a chance, but if you are not pleased with the game on your console and don't want to wait for updates, you can opt to refund your copy. For copies purchased digitally, please use the refund system of PSN or Xbox, respectively. For boxed versions, please first try to get a refund at the store where you bought the game. Should this not be possible, please contact us at helpmerefund@cdprojectred.com, and we will do our best to help you. Starting from today, you can contact us for a week up until December 21st, 2020. Humbly, and then we have the following: Marcin, Adam B, Mihao, Piotr, and Piotr K. P.S. PC gamers will also be getting regular updates and fixes improving the game. So this is pretty big news because it's unfortunate what happened, and it's kind of difficult gauging this, address to the fans. On the one hand, they were aware, it seems, fully aware that leading into launch, the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One versions were not up to snuff. And in purposely not showing them, not only were they aware, and the game should have either been delayed again or just, showed off, but by denying people the, opportunity to see it, that's what's harsh, because at the end of the day you could only say that's hiding the truth because you didn't want the truth to be exposed, and that is that you have kind of an ugly game because that's bad press. But if you think about it, it's always difficult, and hindsight's 2020. Okay, let's say they didn't want to delay the game any further. They wanted to release it. They've already delayed it enough as they have done so. They have investors kind of pressuring them, we need the game to come out this year. This has got to be it. Okay, we need the game to finally come out this month. So let's say that delaying it wasn't going to happen. In the 6 weeks or so leading up, even longer you could argue, they should have showed you this is what it looks like running on PS4, Xbox One. This is the Xbox One S version. This is the PS4 Pro, Xbox One X version. Here it is on the Series S, PS5, Xbox Series X, and an awesome PC with modern current gen tech, latest and greatest, right? However, if they did that, then you would shoot yourselves in the foot in terms of sales. So what you did is you kind of lie by not showing you, the audience. You kind of lie in a way. And does it work? Well, yes and no. the amount of crashes, the amount of bugs that a lot of people are experiencing is a little bit more than acceptable. In some people's cases, it's just downright bad. It is not, tolerable. This is a big game. It's been in development for a long time. The studio did have a difficult time. Granted, I'm not making excuses completely, but I'm also seeing from their perspective. They had a lot on their hands with making the game run and be optimized well enough on all of the different platforms. There's something like 9 in total, However, being more open with the public definitely was something that they should have taken more seriously going into it, because now you have to play, reverse. Now you have to apologize. Now it just looks bad. I think it would have been better to eat potential sales going in by saying, hey, if you've got it on vanilla Xbox One, Xbox One S, or PS4, you could buy it, but this is what it's looking like now. If you could give us 1 or 2 months, it will be up to snuff, And hey, people would have said, all right, that's fair, that's honest. I'm going to buy it because I've got faith. I'd rather have it now and, get a little bit of play out of it. Or, you know what, I'll wait a couple of months. By doing it the way they did, you got a lot of people who pre-ordered the game that don't have a PS4 Pro or an Xbox One X or better and are pretty disappointed. At least they're making the right call now in saying, hey, we're with you, we understand, we'll try to get you a refund and vouch for you, whether it's, at your local retail outlet or if it's online through one of the stores like, PSN or Xbox. I don't want to say too little too late, but it is a pretty damn shame, to be honest, with what happened. Hopefully they could right the wrong. Hopefully this doesn't damage the company's name and fans are willing to say, all right, you had a lot. You really were focusing on the other versions. If you want to give them the benefit of the doubt, you could potentially say they weren't 100% aware of how unplayable the base versions were, and that is a possibility. And that's not me trying to lie to myself or lie to you. I'm just looking at it from multiple perspectives. You could say, nope, they knew completely. They had their testers go through the game from top to bottom, 100% playthrough, multiple different, game testing scenarios, and they said, gosh, this thing runs like crap. Yep, stamp, it gets gold, release it, don't say anything. That is possible, and that is the worst case scenario, and that is the ugliest potential truth. On the best case scenario, it's, this is buggy. This isn't right. Yeah, this does play pretty well. There are some moments where it's better or not. I would recommend not showing it. It does run better on the others. Focus on those. Let's do a patch with this, but maybe it'll iron out and it will be okay, and people will understand. That's still that best case scenario is still not that great though. So if you look at the worst case and look at the best case, and if you say it's somewhere in the middle, it's still not that good of a picture. But do what's right. They're at least working with you, and it's almost like they got caught in a lie and they're trying to do the best they could now. And obviously, they weren't just going to leave consumers like this. Their intention was to continue working. And they said before even, things aren't quite perfect, but we believe with confidence that it is ready for the release date. But we will continue working on it. So they did know, but they just didn't tell us to what extent and show us visual equivalence of what was going on behind the scenes. So I could kind of give them a little bit of a, all right, do what's right now. Don't make this mistake again. But this is an important lesson for the rest of the video game industry to see. Don't mess with the fans. If it's not ready yet, don't release it. Maybe be a little bit less ambitious with your investors and stretch out your time of expectancy when a game is going to come out, but you don't want to have to go back on things and do this now, because going back now is worse than if you were just honest in the beginning. Long run, probably. But that's enough on CD Projekt Red and Cyberpunk 2077. Me personally, I've been playing on the Xbox Series X, and I'm having a great time. Like, it is a very good game. Lots of voice acting, lots of options, cool gameplay, nice visuals, nice music going on. It's a cool story, and it feels like a big project. The city's deep. Like, I'm having a really good time. I'm only a handful of hours in, but so far no complaints. But that's running on Series X, one of the top 2 or 3 ideal places to play it on. Anyways, moving on. Retro Studios. Speaking of a company that's doing the honest thing, it's kind of funny. I didn't plan on putting these stories back to back, but we're going with a pretty big video game news day today, and this just happened to be next, and it's a good segue, ironically. Retro Studios announced that they are looking for a boss/AI designer to join their team, their journey to develop Metroid Prime 4. Okay, first up, I got to tell you, what was I talking about the whole irony thing. Nintendo said in June of 2017, Metroid Prime 4 is in development. Then, come January 2019, they said, unfortunately, we have to let you know that development was not up to the quality of standards, and that it is shifting into the hands of Retro Studios. They will be taking over. We apologize. They let us know. They could have not, and E3 2019 could have gone by with nothing, and they could have said it's still in development. And then 2020, obviously we didn't have an E3, but we've had a couple of mini directs. We could have come by to this point, and they could have addressed somebody in an investor issue or to some press site. Yep, it's still in development, but not give fans an indication of, okay, are we looking at like a multi-year long investment? No, they were honest with us because they know that fans were so hyped and excited about it that they let us know publicly, hey, you might in your minds be expecting this game, in 2020 or 2021. Realistically, that's probably not going to happen anymore because of the following. So expect it to come out later. But they felt like they owed their fans, that bit of honesty. And I appreciate that. I respect that. And back to the news itself, though, it really does make me wonder, just when is this game going to come out? Because Retro Studios is always adding new, highly talented, really well-regarded people on their team, but they're continuously adding people. So how much work is done? When is it realistic to actually expect this game in our hands? Part of that, I think, depends on, in January 2019, when Nintendo announced that Retro Studios was taking over, probably that means that, around November of 2018, it actually switched hands, and now Retro was at it for a couple of months. Were they able to salvage any of what was previously worked? Any of the sound, music, clips, any of the costume designs, any of the world, any of the boss or artwork, anything? Or was it completely from scratch? If it's completely from scratch, from November 2019 onwards, I think, a 2022 November release or 2023 is possible. If some of it was salvageable, then I think that from 2019, working with, some content from the previous developer, maybe late 21 to late 22 is possible. Hard to say, but, that's speculation. Moving on, though. Speaking of Nintendo, we've got an Indie World tomorrow. It was announced today that an Indie World is coming December 15th, 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 Eastern. These have been pretty good this year. Nintendo's had quite a few Indie Worlds and Nintendo Mini Partner Direct showcases. No actual true, big Nintendo Direct this year, which is kind of wild. No 45-minute presentation. I'm sure that we would have had one at least if we got E3, but that was another story. It didn't happen, of course. But hey, the Indie World presentations have been good, so I'm looking forward to tomorrow's. I should be live streaming it. So stay tuned to that. Hopefully we get something cool out of it. And speaking of something cool out of it, I do expect this one to show up. Yes, Hollow Knight, Silksong. I've heard rumors, and there's a decent amount behind the rumors to indicate that this is going to show up tomorrow. It might not, you know what I mean? I thought Hollow Knight was a fantastic game. I'm obviously looking forward to Silksong quite a bit. I wouldn't be too surprised if I see it tomorrow, but I would still be, excited. I'd be both not too surprised and pleasantly surprised, if that makes sense. So I've heard some rumblings that it's going to be shown, but I wouldn't, bet the house on it, so to speak. But we'll see. Next up, just a small thing right here. I found it kind of interesting. It's a little 15-second clip of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. Yeah, not Sword and Shield, but a new commercial released right here in December of 2020 for a Nintendo Switch game that came out, a few years ago. But that's because there are quite a few more, millions of gamers in Japan now than there were when these pair of titles released. So I could see why Nintendo's trying to push it, capture some of that Animal Crossing audience that was built up so strongly this year. Moving along, folks that are looking forward to owning an Xbox Series X or PlayStation 5, tomorrow's your chance to maybe get your hands on one if you haven't done so already. Best Buy said that tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Central Time, they're going to have a certain amount of Xbox Series X consoles and PlayStation 5 consoles available. Not in store, but online to order to then pick up at the store, curbside pickup and all of that. So stay tuned. Hop on before 8 a.m. Central for a few minutes, refresh, follow instructions. Maybe I wish you luck that you get one, all right? Next up, this is something pretty cool. Once in a while, one of the big three does something really nice that I'm like, this is how people should look at video games. This is how people should treat the industry. This is on Xbox's website, okay? This is not, a video game site that put this image together. No, this is coming to us from Xbox. It's their shared commitment to safer gaming, an update. And I won't read all of it. It's rather long, and there's quite a bit, to it. But I'll read some of the beginning, and then you could just go to news.xbox.com if you would like to read the rest. We play for many reasons: to indulge our imaginations, to socialize with friends or family, to test our skills against others, to learn through technology, or just to relax and pass the time. Like other social activities, gaming creates meaningful connections with diverse players and reminds us that we have so much in common through the shared joy of play. We believe gaming is for all people of all ages, including our youngest and most vulnerable players. Technology makes compelling entertainment experiences possible, and we want to ensure that those experiences, especially when they involve interaction with others, are positive and respectful. All players deserve to have fantastic social gaming experiences in settings where respect and safety are mutual. At Xbox, we aligned with both Nintendo on behalf of the community of Nintendo Switch players and PlayStation in our belief that protecting players online requires a multidisciplinary approach, one that combines the benefits of advanced technology, a supportive community, and skilled human oversight. We can accomplish more when we work toward the same goal. So we will continue investing in, evolving, and amplifying our approaches to user safety. As we continue this work, we will prioritize protecting the safety of our players, especially those most vulnerable. The following principles guide our work. And it goes into customizing experiences, using technology to make sure that there's no cyberbullying, harm, keeping the industry a safe one, following guidelines with ESRB and working with other developers, manufacturers, publishers to make sure that requirements are there. And there's also, touches on global communities and how to approach gaming, how to provide research and use former research of how gaming has helped in well-documented situations benefit health, children with autism, senior citizens with Alzheimer's, helping recover memory, and so forth. A lot has gone into it. A lot is going on behind the scenes to make gaming a better place. And this goes beyond what Xbox, Nintendo, and Sony have to say on this and whatnot. But my own personal belief is that, in general, just be a good person in life, right? Treat others kindly. You don't have to be a jerk. You could have your own favorite thing, but you don't have to knock someone else's. You don't have to hate one thing just because you love something else. You could like a lot of everything and just like something a little bit more. And when it comes to online and how you present yourself towards others, there are some people that get ahead in life by being mean, by being the bully. But for me personally and how I view other people, I see that most often when you do good, you get good back. You make the right decisions, you make the right choices, usually good things will happen to you back with work ethic, with relationships, jobs, financial security, body image, mental capacity, knowledge, etc. Hard work pays off. It's better to be good, So overall, since that is who I am, and that's how I recommend, others to be, and try to be that myself to rub off the right way. When I see, initiative like this and, public acknowledgement of why we should be good and so forth, and not just, being kind to each other, but just making sure that things behind the scenes are well, and, even within development, making sure that that is, a solid place, a healthy place for management, for work. I got to give props. So that's a good piece of news today. Sorry, Xbox, that for part of this little speech, your logo wasn't in it. Try to be equal on this channel. And finally, thank you all. If you've watched this long, this is a now 22-minute running video game news day with Paul Gale Network, and this is on the longer side of my news days. They could be as short as 7 minutes, and sometimes a little bit longer than 23 minutes, but usually they're in that 10 to 16 minute range where I cover video game news daily. If you lasted this long, I appreciate it. Chances are you're a new fan or a new follower, a new subscriber, and that might be because you followed my channel, you noticed my channel for the first time just a couple of days ago during the Game Awards and my posting of my Perfect Dark reaction, which was awesome as can be. And, here in the little thumbnail in the corner right behind me is paused on me going, yes, because I was so excited. This is what I do. I share the top video game news stories of the day. I try to find a decent amount of news, pertaining to Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, if it's Apple related or something like that. But it's, at the end of the day, something that could be, interpreted or just straight up for video gaming, I'll talk about that. If it's something movie related, but it's a game-based movie, I'll talk about that. Cards, but the cards are based off of video games, toys, etc. That's the kind of stuff. Shoes, whatever. We have a lot of fun. I look forward to meeting you all and talking more and more. We did a lot of talking over the last several days thanks to this Perfect Dark video. So welcome to the channel if you're sticking around. I do plan on talking more on Perfect Dark. Obviously, whenever Microsoft or the initiative release something new, I'll be on PD. I'll give you my impressions about it, and I'm sure that we'll have some really good conversations. So I look forward to that. But even when there isn't, a new Perfect Dark related announcement, event, video, trailer, whatever, I still plan on having some Perfect Dark talking segments because I'm just so excited. I love Perfect Dark so much. I have the vinyl records. I have the original cartridges, the Steelbook from the Xbox 360 back in the day. My old Nintendo Powers. I love the game. So I'm a big fan, and I'm looking forward to doing some more deep dives into what this game could be like, what I hope it's like, etc. And maybe share some fun stories of, my years at E3 and certain Perfect Dark interactions with people and developers over the time. So, thank you for watching. This is Video Game News with Paul Gale Network. If you're new to the channel, thank you. And if you're a returning viewer, then thank you as well. Hope you all have a good one. Take it easy, and I'll see you tomorrow for more video game news. Bye.